Alright, you're going to have to forgive me. My voice is a little weak. I had a cold over the weekend, so my voice is not all with it. But we're talking about slope today, and we're talking more specifically about finding the slope of a line. So let's get going on some definitions here. Now hopefully some of this, most of this will be somewhat of a review for you guys. But let's talk about what slope is. And slope is the ratio of rise over run found using 2 points on a line. If we have a point at x1, y1 and another point at x2, y2, and there are any 2 points on a line, then the slope of the line is m, we call it m, equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, and so we have these 4 different types of slopes. We have one that if it's going up from left to right, that would be called a positive slope. If it's going down from left to right, that would be a negative slope. A zero slope is one that has no change. It's completely horizontal. And then an undefined slope is one that is vertical. Okay? Let's do some examples here. So example 1 says to use the slope formula to determine the slope of each line. So what we're going to do, instead of kind of going y2 minus y1 and trying to find that, all we're going to do when we have graphs like this is just count how much up or down it goes and put that over, in fraction form, the amount that it goes left or right. Okay, so if we have the slope of the line AB, that's this line right here, AB, we can tell that it isn't going up at all. It's not going up at all, so our rise would be 0. And our run would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, but here's what we know about that fraction, 0 divided by 5, is that 0 divided by anything is just 0. And if we looked back up at our summary of a slope, right up here, that would be called a zero slope. This is a zero slope. Alright, now AC. We have the line AC. AC goes from this point all the way down to this point. We can see that it's going down from left to right, so it's going to be a negative slope. And we can now count the amount that it rises or it drops, right? It's going to drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. That's why we have our negative there. And it's going to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So we have a negative 5 over 6 slope. So m equals negative 5 over 6. This is pretty easy, and I think most of this is review. But let's check out AD. AD is vertical. And remember, when we have a vertical one, that is an undefined slope. Undefined slope. And then the last one, CD. If we take a look here, CD here, but it's the same thing going from left to right. D, it goes up 1, and we can tell this is a positive slope because from left to right it's going up. It's going to be up 1, and then it goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the slope is 1 over 6. Okay, that's all you're doing for example 1. That's pretty easy. Let's do example 2. Example 2 says Justin is driving home to his college dorm. So he's going from his home to his dorm. At 4 p.m., he is 260 miles from home. And at 7 p.m., he is 455 miles from home. We need to graph the line that represents Justin's distance from home at a given time. Find and interpret the slope of the line. Okay, so first let's go ahead and graph this. We know at 4 p.m., and we're going to use this x-axis here as our time in hours, right? At 4 p.m., he is 260 miles from home. So we're going to go up to 260 at this point right here. And at 7 p.m., he is 455 miles. So that would be somewhere around right here, right? We're going to draw that line. Sorry for the movement of the paper. We're going to draw that line here on the graph. And it should be something like this. Right? Okay, now when we're using numbers that are a little bit bigger, a little bit larger in terms of size, and we're not looking at just a simple coordinate plane. It is useful to use that slope formula. Alright, so I've zoomed in a little bit, and I went ahead and I reminded us of what the slope formula was. It's m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And remember, the x's defined the time intervals, and the y-axis, that one defined the distance from home, right? Okay, so our y2, remember, the furthest we were from home was 455 miles. Minus our y1, which at 4 p.m. was 260 miles away. Okay, and now we have to divide that by now our times. We had it was 7 o'clock minus the 4 o'clock. And now this is just solving algebraically, right? 455 minus 260. You know 460 minus 260 is 200, so that's going to be 195 here. And then 7 minus 4 is 3. Now my guess would be that 195 and 3 goes into 195, so let's get our friend out. Let's take 195 divided by 3, and we see, oh goody, it goes in 65 times. And so that means that it equals 65. Now, that's the slope. The slope is 65, or 65 over 1. You could put it both ways. But we need to interpret the slope of what that really means. And if we really think about this, what this is talking about, this whole slope in the graph that we're talking about, is how fast he's traveling away from home, right? So that means that slope, that Justin is driving at 65 miles per hour. Okay? That's all we're doing. I apologize once again for my voice. I hope it wasn't too annoying. Good luck. Thanks. Bye.